Guys, it's me, it's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another edition of Ask an Aquarius. And you know where the subscribe button is. It's right there. So if you haven't already, please smack it and hit the bell. Now, I wanted to tell you guys that I got a message. It was from a woman, and she said that she was dating an Aquarius. She said that her and the Aquarius were doing very well. They were getting along, and everything was going good. No problems, no arguments, no fights, nothing. Something happened in his personal life with one of his children, and the Aquarius completely shut down. Stopped talking to her, stopped responding, just shut off. Told her something's going on right now. I'll holler. Basically is what he said. Something's going on right now. When it's over, I'll get back to you. Basically was what he told her. And she said to me, like, what is this about? Like, is this normal behavior? And I'm like, yeah. For an Aquarius who's overwhelmed, yeah. When an Aquarius is overwhelmed by something, they will also disappear. It doesn't have to be something you did. I told you in an earlier video, if something is going on in an Aquarius's personal life that's overwhelming, that we cannot handle, we don't really feel like busting it up. To be honest with you, we just don't feel like it. We don't have the energy. We don't have the strength to be on. We just don't have it. If we're overwhelmed by something, if we're sad by something, especially if it's major, like a death or something with our kids, something, big, something that we can't deal with because, that emotional stuff we really don't like. So if it's a lot of emotion to us, especially our own emotion, oh God, or we have to deal with somebody else's emotion on top of our emotion, if it's something major, it is very common for an Aquarius to crawl into their shell. And we don't feel like being on. We don't feel like talking. Romance is the last thing we're going to want to do if we're prioritizing based on something like that. That's the last thing we want to do. Aquarius put romance to the side, especially older, mature Aquarius. The younger ones may kind of struggle with it, but the older, mature Aquariuses, we will put romance to the side if some other priority takes place. And our feelings or dealing with feelings or dealing with a major event in our lives will take precedence. So we might be in a relationship with somebody, and if we just started kicking it a couple weeks, a couple months, or whatever the case is, and something pops off, we might shut down. Yeah, that's very, very common for us because we're overwhelmed and we can't do both. I can't date you and be present with you and deal with this emotional situation at the same time. I only got so much emotional energy. I don't have no water in my chart. I'm sorry. I only got so much emotional energy. And once it's spent, it's spent. So if I'm, been at the hospital all day with a family member, if I've been at the funeral parlor, or if I've been talking to family members and crying and counseling with them and talking with them, I don't have it in me to go have drinks with you. I just don't have it. And other signs might have it, or they might find it somewhere, but the Aquarius is not going to have it. And if we do go, we're going to be miserable, and you're going to be miserable too. So in a case like that, we have a tendency not, and we don't really want to talk a lot. Aquarius talk a lot. We are very talkative. But if an Aquarius is feeling bad, we don't feel like talking. We don't feel like talking. We don't feel like answering 20 questions about our feelings. We don't feel like doing any of that stuff. We just need to focus on getting through what is happening and getting ourselves back to a place of being even. And then when we're back at that space, we more than likely will show up. Now, I'm not saying that other people should wait around for that, because I always tell you guys, I do not have the patience for an Aquarius. If an Aquarius did this to me, by the time they came back from whatever the crisis was, I probably wouldn't be there. I probably been drifted off into the stratosphere somewhere. But like I said before, it's up to you if you want to wait for them to come back. I'm not telling you to wait for them or not. People always say I make excuses for Aquarius, but I don't, because I'm not telling you to wait for them or not. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't. That's on you. It's on you if you wait for them to come back. I'm not waiting. I'm deuces, I'm gone. I'm in the wind. I'm in the atmosphere somewhere. So if you want to wait for that person to get over what they are going through, then they'll come back. And usually the Aquarius only does that like when y'all not really that connected. When the Aquarius is in love with a person, we don't do stuff like that. When we're in love with somebody and we're in a routine with somebody and a commitment with somebody, we're going to go to them when we're upset. We're not going to pull away from them when we're upset. That only really happens in the beginning, or it happens if the person is the reason why we're upset. Like if you were the one that upset the Aquarius, then they'll pull back. But if you're not the one that upset the Aquarius, and the Aquarius is upset about something major, and you guys are in a relationship and they're in love with you, you are the one they're going to come to, not walk away from. You're going to be their light, their lighthouse, or whatever the case is, their beacon of hope. They're going to come to you. If they're not coming to you, it's because they don't know you well enough yet for you really to be able to soothe them. So they're going to go off and soothe themselves. They're going to get themselves together. Because one thing, we don't like looking crazy in the street. We don't like everybody we don't like that. We like to get ourselves together. So that Aquarius will get himself together. He'll deal with whatever is going on, and it could take days, it could take weeks, it could take months, depending on how bad the situation is. But he'll get himself together and he'll come back forward when he's feeling more social. Will you be waiting for him is the question that only you can answer. Okay, so that's the deal with the Aquarius. Yes, we do. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I think that what we should do is just talk to the person and let that person be there for us. But I also understand that in that moment, we just don't want that. In that moment, we just want to deal with what we're dealing with and then come back forward. In that moment, we're so frustrated. We're so overwhelmed with these emotions. We just can't. So that's what's going on here. So you have to answer the question of, will you wait or not? Deuces.